I wanted to make this video about the recent outbreak of the coronavirus. And the reason I wanted to make it is because I think that a lot of people are getting misinformation and don't know all of the information or even what to do. And it's worrisome to me because if looking at the current models of what to expect, I think it's here in the United States. I'm in the Midwest United States. I think it's going to get worse. And I think it could be helped if people were aware of what's going on and they could do about it. So essentially, people just got to realize that it's transmitted mainly through communicable. So it's like when you get next to someone who coughs or sneezes into the air, that air becomes infectious for a certain radius. The water droplets, the vapor of the particles are infectious, and you might inhale them. They might just land on you. That person might cough into their hand, sneeze into their hand, and touch the doorknob that you touch. So, you gotta realize how it's transmitted. It stays alive on surfaces for up to 4 days. On porous surfaces like clothes, it stays alive much less. So, all of your hard surfaces, we've got to do the things that make sense to help the curve of it. People are still talking about how we're going to beat it. It's not about beating it. It's about managing the curve of the explosion of cases so that healthcare doesn't get overwhelmed. That's what flatten the curve means. So it's not about, hey, you guys got to stockpile and do all this and do all that and you'll be able to fight it off. That's good, and you probably will. The majority of people will fight it off. That's wonderful. But those among us, like your dad or your grandpa or your brother who has fought off lung cancer and survived, he's a lung cancer survivor, or your wife who has asthma, which by the way mine does. So I've got a wife in an immunocompromised category. She's also type A negative blood, which is not, rumor is this not a good category to be in. Either way, she definitely has asthma. And that's anybody that has a disadvantaged lung state because you smoke, you have lung cancer, have had lung cancer, or asthma, history of asthma, or vape even, because it damages the cilia lining of your lungs is how it starts attacking you, and then you die of pneumonia essentially. All of these things can be helped if we're very astute in our washing our hands, not touching our face. If I touched, can I see it? This and there, I just got contaminated my hand. If I go wash my hands now, I'm like, oh, I want to scratch I'll pick my nose or whatever. If I go wash it now, the soap envelops the particle, washes the particle down, and I'm good. Or if I use the little hand sanitizers, and it zaps it, like the mosquito zapper. Which, by the way, we've sanitized basically everything in here, so that's why I touch my face. But go wash your hands. Before you touch your face, go wash your hands. You're doing this not because you're young and you think you're invincible. You're doing this to protect community, your loved ones. It's herd mentality. It's herd immunity is the idea, the concept. And we're going to have to be compliant eventually, I think, whether we like it or not. There's a lot of cities that have already undergone mandatory lockdown, and I think that we're probably not far behind. It just depends. The reason it's so important in those cities is because they already have an explosion of cases. And the reason they have an explosion of cases is because they have testing adequately and they can confirm that people have it. There's a lot of people walking amongst us that have it and are asymptomatic. So that same person is going to have coronavirus, not feel too bad, walk around, maybe cough a little bit, a normal cough. I mean, it's allergies. The seasons are changing, so people have allergies. So you might just sneeze your contents out, and you're still asymptomatic because you have a good immune system or for whatever reason. But this guy doesn't, and that's your gym buddy. That's your coworker. That's your mom. And they catch it. All you have to do, again, sneeze into your elbow, cloth, let it catch it. Remember to wash that. Don't sneeze in your hands, because then you'll touch stuff and contaminate it. Don't go into public if you don't have to. Have a designated day that you go buy groceries. Don't hoard all the groceries too. That's ridiculous mentality of hoarding. This is going to be around for probably a year. We're probably going to be fighting this in waves for I would say at least 6 months. I'm no expert. This is just my opinion, okay? Take it with a grain of salt. But I want you to know that you're talking to someone who looks into this. I work in the medical field, and I've got a lot of friends who are highly interested in this subject and what's going on. I try to keep myself informed. If we look at where it originated in Wuhan, this is now, what is today, March 21st? Let's just say March 20th. The explosion happened sometime in late November. So if we're looking at late December, January, February, March, 4 months, this is the third day that they've reported no new cases. It's taken this long to just flatline for them. That's with them busting their asses with a studious compliance. Their people said, don't go out, don't congregate. They welded people's doors shut to get compliance because people weren't compliant. Like our beachgoers who were, down there just having fun, living life. This isn't the time to do that. So Wuhan busted their ass to get all of this done. And this is day 3 of no new cases, 4.5 months in. These other countries, Italy, France, United Kingdom, United States, Mexico, Canada, they're reacting, of course, and they're doing good, but they're not doing as good as they are. Wuhan, everybody head to toe, man. They're wrapped up. They're not going out in public. They are self-isolating. They're just now starting to go outside after all this time. They're definitely staying 6 feet away from everybody. They're sanitizing all of their surfaces. This is the immediate action that needs to happen now for us to flatten the curve, to get time to build reinforcements, to potentially have a virus, tested, worked out, have some positive things happen. I know everybody's scared. I know everybody's in panic mode. Some people are in denial. Some people don't believe it at all. We're all in this together, man. And again, you can call this what you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call this thing, the China virus, the Wuhan virus, the coronavirus, COVID-19. We have to band together and fight it together as one. That's the only way we're going to flatten the curve. We're not going to beat it yet. A vaccine will beat it. There's a lot of people who will get exposed and they will resist it, and they will have beaten it. But we're going to have friends, family, loved ones, neighbors, co-workers. We're going to have people that don't make it through this because of this. And partially it'll be all of our fault because we didn't take it seriously. We didn't react on it fast enough, and we didn't do everything in our power to make sure that it didn't spread. And I'm not trying to lay a bunch of guilt on people. I just want you to be informed. I want you to look into it for yourself. You got to take care of yourself. Be healthy, eat healthy, sleep, drink plenty of fluids, especially water. Get some sun. You need to have at least 15 minutes of sun on your body, 40% of your body, 15 minutes daily if possible. You need to exercise minimally, just walk, and with 6 feet away from everybody else. So I wish you the best. Troubling times ahead for probably everybody in the world, but we're all in it together. It's not like it's unique to you. It's only happening to you. It's happening to everybody. Okay, so that's why the division needs to stop. The unity needs to happen. Help your neighbors. Help out where you can. Don't hoard. Cough into your elbow. Wash your hands often. Don't touch your face. It enters through your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Okay, if you know this, don't rub your eye like this. My hands have been very sanitized before I touched everything. I promise you. The time to do this is after you know you've sanitized. Don't do it unconsciously. Be conscious of how much you're touching your face, because you catching it and communicating it to, transmitting it to your loved one or your child or your granddad who's already immunocompromised. All it takes is conscious, attentive focus. And all we need is everybody to get on board for a good amount of time. And then we'll develop a vaccine and build up immunity. So please do your part. Please stay healthy. And Godspeed.